Welcome to Next Week News Podcast, episode 28. That's your host, Aidan.
Welcome back, next weekers. That's been the thing that people are saying now, so I'm gonna go for it.
Next weekers.
Next
It is fun.
weekers.
Yeah. Like Swifties or whatever else they call other people.
Yeah,
Like that's fans of Next Week News.
exactly.
Next Weekers. It's a good one.
Well, welcome back to episode 28. I'm your host, Aidan.
I already said that.
We're coming to you live from the Next Week News studio.
We're live.
101.3.9
The Fix.
101.3.9 the Fix.
The Fix. I feel like usually it's mix, so The Fix. Maybe there's just one that's the mix, probably.
That is probably a specific radio station.
Yeah, it is. I'm your host, Mary.
All right.
Welcome back to Next Week News Podcast.
Well, as always, we'll be on here for an hour, but we'll be on Patreon for an extra half hour. And there is a 7-day free trial. I kind of forget to say that a
Ooh, that's
lot when
fun.
we do this part. So, if you want to see what we got going on there and try it out before you join,
Maybe I should do that.
you can binge the previous 27 iterations of this. That would be a lot of listening to us talk. But also, we're on YouTube
Yes.
weekly on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. And we're also on the other social medias, particularly TikTok and Instagram, daily around 6 o'clock Central Time at Next Week News.
Yeah, you're not on Pinterest, right?
No, we're on Tumblr now. I'm posting on Tumblr.
I don't even have a Tumblr.
I didn't have one either until like last week.
Are you on Vine?
No, can't be on Vine, unfortunately.
Hmm.
But all of that, I guess except for the Tumblr, is linked at nextweeknews.com.
You have to really search for the Tumblr.
Yeah, that's a secret one. Also back on X, active on there again.
X.
Twitter.
Nice.
But we do have a Patreon theme for this week. I guess we can start listing that off. So this week, and this is a patron submitted request. So we've got embarrassing injury stories, as well as Mary's rejected next week news ideas.
I got a whole list.
There's a lot.
That's going to take a while.
That sounds like a bad thing to say. It's kind of just, there are a lot of things that pop into our brains, each of our brains, that don't make it onto next week news. I've told Mary that her hit rate, like the percentage of the things that she says that end up on next week news, is like significantly better than mine. You just don't hear about my rejected ones. That's gonna be my my excuse the whole time.
Well, yeah. Listen to the Patreon because there's some good ones on there.
And time permitting, we have a request for Mary's strong opinions on various foods.
Mm-hmm.
And we also have another...
opinions in general.
Oh, opinions in general. We're just going to give Mary the floor. We also have a weekly segment now, Disturbances of the Week. Last week was the Air and Water show that was going on in Chicago. We had to cut, I think I counted how many times we had to cut because jets were 200 feet above us as we were recording, like fighter jets, loud. It was around 8 times.
Oh, wow.
I think somewhere around 8 to 10 times the jets flew by, and I had to cut that out. So hopefully we don't have to do that again this week. But last night at 1 or 2 a.m., the hallway smoke alarm started going off here, like an out of battery thing. It's rough when it's
You
2
haven't
a.m. and
fixed
it's
it yet?
I think so. I haven't heard it.
Oh, I haven't heard it.
I think it's fixed.
Or you
I
just
haven't heard
take it off the
unless
wall?
someone just no, that's.
Oh.
I thought it was mine, so I just took mine right off the wall, and then I went back to bed and started
Oh.
hearing it again, and I was like, "Oh, that's not mine. That's that's the one in the apartment hallway that I probably don't want to tamper with." I didn't know if I could get in trouble for that, so I just kind of let it go. I slept with earplugs in last night. I think that's the first time in my 26 years that I've ever done that. I've never slept with earplugs in, but I had them. I had them at the ready. And do you want to know why I had earplugs?
I think I know why.
Yeah, you know why. It's because the first time Mary's cat stayed here for the weekend, it walked around she walked around from the hours of 4 to 8 a.m. just walking around and screaming every 3 steps.
She did indeed.
So
She's not usually like that, and you didn't even need them after that, right?
no, I just had them.
Yeah, you got them, and then she behaved the rest
By
of
the end of that
weekend.
weekend, that cat and I were besties.
Yeah, but she was a little nervous. I can't blame her. The first night.
So I had the earplugs at the ready, and they came in clutch last night.
She was like, "Oh, he's not going to be able to even hear it. There's no point in me meowing."
Oh, I'm being ignored? Oh, man, I guess I shouldn't do that behavior that I'm not being rewarded for.
Some cats just yell louder.
Until it reaches an extent, doesn't it? I don't know. I don't know how they work. I'm not a cat.
Next segment, tweets from Mary.
Oh, yeah, the exciting one.
These are just tweets that I send him. The things that like should have been next week news or could have been warned about on next week news. This one was from the Glennis show, and it was from the Olympics. Can you pull it up? What was the context?
Oh, the context was there was a basketball game or something. Like on their Gold
Olympic
Zone or whatever,
sport.
like on the programming, they had like a little thing that would have a pop-up for upset alerts.
Mm-hmm. And it was saying that they need the upset alert for boyfriends, but when their girlfriend is upset, it just says upset alert, which I think this was a kind of a next week news update once, wasn't it? Or similar-ish.
There was a girlfriend update where you could send a push notification to your boyfriend's dream.
There's that one, yeah.
If you have a question and he's sleeping.
Mm-hmm. There was it was like maybe a meter of rating. I don't know. I'll have to go back and find it. But yeah, so that would be a good boyfriend update in my opinion, or girlfriend update, whichever one. And then the other one, that was just their name. That wasn't their actual but it was regular gem. Basically, it was saying that you're only 2 to 3 household purchases away from peace and contentment, and it's real this time. It's gonna work this time.
What are your current 2 to 3?
I would give me a sec.
I could tell you what mine are, and I just satisfied them.
Yeah, go.
So this was as of like yesterday. It was need a new shower curtain, need a new kitchen brush, and then I'll be all set forever. Everything will be good. I will never have to worry about anything again once I have those things. So I got them.
Nice.
And I feel like when you exhaust all of your household purchases that are like needed to get you to contentment, it then just automatically gets backfilled with candles. Like you can always go for a candle.
Yeah. And the seasons are always changing, so you're gonna need a different scent.
Yeah, we're always 5 months ahead at Marshall's.
Oh yeah, that's my household purchases. Because I was like, I'm pretty content-ish right now. Like I do still want a picture for our bathroom, but I think other than that, yeah, it's Halloween decor is what I want.
Mind you, this is being recorded in August. This episode comes out next week, which is still August.
But have you been to the stores? They have Halloween
so
stuff.
as of the date that this is released, this is as of the date that the people hearing this are experiencing, August 15th. And we're thinking about Halloween.
I had some extra yarn, and I saw a craft on TikTok, and yesterday I made little pumpkins out of the yarn. So I'm almost ready.
We still have like Labor Day to look forward to.
I'll be ready, and you'll be there at the stores in the empty aisles, not being able to buy
last year I was
anything.
like looking for just like a little like wicker pumpkin, just something. And I was there like mid-October in
Too late.
in May, I don't know, like non-shopper terms, that's like when I should go to be ready for Halloween. That's in 2 weeks. Like I had like given them 2 weeks notice. Like I need my Halloween stuff. It wasn't even Thanksgiving in there. It was Christmas. And everyone like knew that.
Yeah.
Who was in there. Everyone like knew that it was going to be Christmas.Ey're all looking through all the Christmas stuff. I was like, I just walked into an alternate reality here. We're next week. These people are 2 months ahead. It's unbelievable.
How the stores work.
It's unbelievable. Like there should be a warning. There should be a
Better
big
believe
chalkboard
it.
outside that says like, this is what we're at.
Yeah. You just gotta go to the clearance section then, and they'll find.
Oh,
some
I was in the
leftovers.
clearance. It was all the Thanksgiving stuff.
I did have that. I forgot even what holiday it was, but I did also
It
have
was
that
like the little
experience.
rejected turkeys that weren't cute enough to be sold. And like the big porcelain things they couldn't get rid of.
Just buy a real pumpkin.
It's unreal. Like people are like going through all the Christmas pajamas in the middle of October. I
You're upset about that?
That still upsets me to this day. And like I don't want to go. Like my clock doesn't operate on like being able to shop for Christmas stuff in October. Like even knowing that I wouldn't be able to go do that. I just kind of have accepted that I'm not going to get Christmas stuff or Halloween stuff. Like I can't go now and get Halloween stuff. Like I know I have to, but I just won't.
Yeah, cool. Because I guess kind of what do you do with it in that time? You just got to store it.
Yeah, I don't have places to put that.
I don't know. I can't help you. I don't know.
This is just like
all I can do is craft pumpkins and tell you that the stuff is at the stores right now.
I think the conclusion here is that there's just a disconnect.
Yeah, you'll never have peace and contentment.
Nope.
Cool.
All right.
Should we get started?
Well, those are the tweets that Mary sent me. I got a little riled up by one of them, kind of indirectly, but yeah. We'll jump to the submissions. Let me make sure my cursor doesn't fall out of my screen.
Oh yeah. Alrighty. So first up, next week your grandparents will have the capacity to understand and remember any tech-related instructions you give them. But you have to be quick because it's only for a 24-hour window, so make sure to visit them and show them how to change the input on the TV to get to Netflix. And that is from Patreon member Danzo.
This is actually happening next week for me.
Is it?
This one is absolutely true.
How so?
I talked to my grandpa a couple weeks ago, and we're going home, or I'm going home next week. Like next week, I am going home, and I agreed on the phone with him a couple weeks ago to help him pick out a new laptop while I was there, and like get his like car. He has a new car radio or something. It's like some sort of
Pilots.
It's a 2023 car that has like no buttons.
Mm.
And he seems to have lost how to connect the radio.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if there is an.
Somebody
I'm gonna have to go
my
see.
car radio. Now he just sits in silence. Now he just sits in silence.
I guess. So
Now
gotta go home and figure that out. But yeah,
you know that song?
I do.
You didn't seem like you did.
I know 21 Pilots.
I used to be obsessed with them. I think I probably know every single word of that song, honestly. Okay, but yeah, so this is going to come true for you.
21 Pilots. Is that from the Vessel album?
The one with the...
Yeah, I think it is.
It was the white cover with like the guy standing there, I think.
Maybe.
I don't know. I didn't know album names back then.
Has that... Like, I still occasionally listen to like some of those songs. Holding On to You. Play that in the shower sometimes. I haven't heard car radio in a while.
Yeah, I'm for sure going to be listening to these today now.
21 Pilots resurgence next week.
Mm-hmm.
It's happened a couple times in the past, I think.
Yeah.
It remains good. Good album.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
This is big news, though, yeah. So you have to, there's going to be some 24-hour window in which if you teach them this thing, they'll actually remember it, if it's a tech-related thing. So you have to... That's going to be hard for me. Yeah, my grandma being in Florida. I don't know if this will work.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Especially like over the phone trying to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they can't show you or if you can't tinker with it yourself.
Yeah, will this work over phone? It sounds like it will. It doesn't say it won't.
I do think a key aspect of this is the ability to have a hands-on tinkering session. Mm-hmm. That's usually the key because, communication gets lost with these type of things.
Yeah, so they'll remember the instructions you give them, but what if they don't know what to do with the instructions? Like they're like, what do you mean, like input, or like what, like where do I aim, like not knowing where to aim it. Like you probably have to be super specific. If you miss a step, they're gonna be able to know everything except this one step that they'll always be forgetting.
I do think it probably is kind of like you have to show them, because if you tell them the steps,
yeah,
probably going to get lost in translation.
Yeah.
But if you show them exactly what they have to do, it might stick. So that might be the case here.
Yeah. Also, this is also, well, in this example, or it just says to show them how to get the TV to Netflix, indicating grandparents have Netflix. I wish this would work for parents too. Sounds like it's just grandparents. Alas. Maybe the grandparents can teach.
Is it like grandparents as in like they must be 2 generations above you, or grandparents as in like possibly grandparent age?
I think it's got to be your own, it seems like. Like I feel like it's got to be within kind of the family line. Like it's got to be it, and like yeah, it can only come from their grandchild. Probably.
I guess every word written here is automatically canonically true. So the fact
Yeah.
that it says grandparents probably does mean that it has to be your grandparents or grandparents of somebody.
No, your own.
Your own grandparents? Oh, it does say your grandparents.
Yeah. These are very intentional words.
They are. Well, I guess there's exactly maximum 4 people who can be impacted by this one.
Yeah. It doesn't say
From your perspective.
It doesn't say what 24-hour window it is. So that you're just going to have to like start the first day of next week and keep trying every single day until one day it'll finally stick and you'll figure out what the 24-hour window was. So next week you got to put in the work and it'll pay off eventually in the weeks that follow.
I hope the grandparents wake up with just like the sensation that it's like today it's gonna stick,
Yeah.
and they let you know about it. That'd be nice,
Yeah.
but we don't know if that's gonna happen.
Grandparent update alert.
You know, they make those the new TV remotes like for the Rokus and the Amazon TVs that have the buttons on them, and that like as I guess a cynical consumer, that annoys me so much, but sometimes that's key. Like the fact that it just like has Netflix on a button.
Oh yeah.
For some people that works.
It is helpful.
They pay a lot of money to put those buttons on those remotes.
I never even thought about that, but I bet they do. Like,
it's a lucrative space. You don't think about that until you see it on like Twitter or something.
Yeah, because it's telling you a lot. Like, one, it makes it so much easier. Like, oh, I'll just go to Netflix. Like, that's the one I know. But it's also subconsciously telling me, like, oh, Netflix is important. It's good. It's like this vital part of society because it's on this remote.
Like, oh, the TV that I bought has a button that gets me to Netflix. Netflix must be
It's
meant
like
for this.
It's like Mount Rushmore. It's the Mount Rushmore of streaming services on the remote.
Whoever pays the most money to put the button on there.
Whoa. Imagine if you could pay for it. Well, I guess you could pay for a Mount Rushmore head, but you probably have to. It probably wouldn't be able to be on the actual thing. It'd have to be separate, and you'd probably have to get some approval.
I painted Next Week News over one of my buttons. It still brings me to Hulu. But I like the idea of it.
That'd be funny.
Get a microscope out to color over it.
Yeah, because it's not even like... Because usually... I think we can move on from this soon, but usually you can customize your shortcuts, like your... like on your phone, like speed dial, and we don't really do speed dial anymore, but you can customize it. But on there, it's like, no, that's just what it is. Like, you can't be like, yeah, that's interesting. Now you got me thinking.
I also had the thought last night that, and then we can jump on from it. But like, they sell you a TV for like a big 4K screen with like nice electronics. Like it's a good TV, and you're like, how is this like $500-$600 or whatever it is? And it's like, oh, as soon as I turn it on, I am auto blasted with an ad that changes every single day. The buttons all have ads on them. Like it's a lost leader for ads.
Yeah. Yeah, there's even ads within Roku City.
But I get a cheap screen, so works for me, I guess.
Roku City. What? Roku City.
Here's the next one.
After you.
Lead scientists in worm communication methods reveal new findings that female worms ask males if they would still love them if they were a human. Also, boyfriend update. Your boyfriend just discovered the band Fish and won't shut the hell up about it. And that one's from Sam. So this now goes the other way with worms.
Yeah. That makes sense. I wonder what their answers usually are. If I was a worm, I feel like I'd be like, no. Because then it would have to be, yeah, them. But it doesn't matter, I guess, because then if the girl is a human and she's like, would you still love me? She's talking to a worm. All she has, if he says no, all she has to do is pick him up or like throw him out in the driveway in the rain. So he's better be careful.
Wow. So I guess this kind of also reveals that worms can love.
Yeah, I guess so.
So the answer to the age-old girlfriend question does matter now because the worm can still love. It's not the ability.
Oh, true.
The girlfriend's ability to love as a worm goes away.
Oh, wow. That makes
So
this
that throws
such...
a whole new wrench in this whole equation.
Wow. We got to revive this question and make sure everyone knows that the weightiness of it now that the worm can love.
And they can go back if they were a human. Like if they were a worm, they could go back to being human. Or is this all hypothetical
I
still?
think it's all hypothetical. But hypothetically, yeah, this one, the worm's asking each other this about... It's got different stakes, I think, because the human versus worm like power ratio.
I must say, just as an aside, we did release the nuh-uh theorem yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Take it from me, or take it from, I guess take it from me. Nuh-uh theorem does not apply here. This is not unprovable, insubstantial, and it is something you should entertain.
So if I said, "Would you still love me if I was a worm?" No,
You can't
would
just
not
dismiss
cut
that.
it.
You have to give it some thought and an answer. And there's a right answer.
The boyfriend update. So boyfriend discovered the band Fish.
You know, fish.
Well, I just can't stop thinking about fish food, the ice cream.
You know,
Isn't it spelled like that?
yeah. Ben and Jerry's kind of love that like hippie culture. Like that is named after the band Fish.
That makes sense.
Like there's a
I don't know if I knew that.
there's the Cherry Garcia. That's for the Grateful Dead guy.
Oh. What's but the Tonight Dough? That's different.
Well, that's just something else.
Oh, well, fish food is elite, so yeah, I'm not gonna stop talking about it either. Now that I know that, I ate a goldfish plant and it was named Fish, like the band.
So
Died.
Is this kind of like the bridge between the boyfriend update and the girlfriend accepting it? Is like, oh, how about this delicious ice cream that's named after it, and
Yeah.
then they kind of get it.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
Like
I
that
see where they're coming from.
That ice cream is ridiculously good. So if you get into fish and like keep talking about it, like you're just I'm gonna be thinking about that ice cream all the time every time you bring it up. So just make sure we've got the freezer stocked, I guess.
I do know a guy who, like, you know, when you get home on a weekend and like people just like start playing videos, he'll put on just like an hour of a single Fish song, just a jam session.
Oh my goodness.
Because it's a jam band and they.
Yeah, I don't know any. Well, I probably would recognize some of their songs, but I couldn't tell you any off the top of my head except for Fish Food.
The problem is the songs aren't really recognizable because they're jam bands. They're like, I'm not a big jam band guy. I'm not going to go all in on this, but like the Fish experience is showing up to their show and they kind of just like make it up for a half hour per song. They don't know how to end it.
Do you know where their name came from?
They probably took the word fish and then it had some sort of like they like the idea of changing the phonetic pronunciation
That's what I
from
was
F
thinking.
to PH.
I like that idea.
And it's pronounced the same way as fish, but it has the PH in front of it.
Yeah, I like that. It would be like...
There was a whole meme a couple of years ago about how you could take fish and like the word fish, FISH, and turn it into like PH, like OEGH or something like that. Like, because you can find English words that have all like the FI, the f, and then the I, and then the sh, all have a lot of different ways to get there in the English language. Is that interesting to talk about? Probably not. I should go find that. I shouldn't. It's like a 2017 meme. It can stay at that era. Maybe even earlier. I don't know.
What is it? Carved in a stone tablet then? Before 2017?
Mm-hmm. It's like no longer searchable on Twitter.
I bet it's out there.
I'm excited to get into Fish. I've had an appreciation for them, but I've never gotten into them.
I could go for some fish fry. I really could. Okay, next one. Arizona green tea will no longer be green. It will now be a neutral cream color. And this is from Damien the Ginger on Instagram. Gross.
You know, if you poured green tea out of a can and it was like cream colored, that probably wouldn't surprise me all that much.
I wouldn't either, but knowing that it used to be green and now it's cream, the neutral cream color, it's been hit by the sad beige moms. Arizona green tea has been hit.
I mean, there are enough. They hide colors in those cans pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Like if you're going through the can section and you have an idea of what color drink you're drinking, and it's like one of those beverages that's only available in a can, they're hiding stuff on you.
Yeah.
Pour it out.
I mean, I imagine Arizona green tea as being like a translucent, like kind of like a yellow, like a light yellow. That's usually what green tea looks like in general. But a neutral cream color, is it still going to be like translucent, or do you think it's going to be like you can't see through it? Because when I'm
Opaque
thinking
tea.
Yeah, when I'm thinking like the cream color, I'm like paint water. Like cream paint water.
Yeah.
Ew.
Almost like chocolate milk.
Yeah, that too, but like the
I was
light
thinking
cream.
chocolate milk. That sounds pretty
That's a good comparison.
But like a less chocolatey chocolate
Ew,
milk.
and it tastes like green tea.
There was one tea that I had. I forget what it was. It was my college philosophy professor brought it in on like the last day, and I like never had tea before, but like I didn't want to feel bad and like say no, so I was like, I'm probably not gonna like this. And I took a sip and I was like, this is one of the best things I've ever had.
Was it an iced tea?
No, it was like opaque. It was an
hot?
opaque tea. It was hot.
Okay.
I forget what it
I was
was.
like, that wasn't the opposite of iced tea. No, it was
I
opaque.
think I've told you about
Did
this
it have
before.
like milk in it? Probably.
Probably.
Yeah, that usually does it for tea, I think.
I think I've told you about this before, and I said
don't-
it was like chai tea, and you're like, there's not a chance that was chai tea.
I don't remember. But chai tea is like spicy, like cinnamon is spicy. and stuff.
Maybe that was it.
It could have been.
Could have been.
You should try
Maybe
chai
I just-
tea then. Maybe you'll like it.
Maybe I just described it really badly the first
Yeah.
time around.
'Cause chai tea, yeah, because opaque means you can't really see through it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know on stuff you change the opacity. How do you say it? Opacity.
Opacity.
But I never know like which way makes it more opaque or less opaque.
100% can't see through it at all.
Okay, yeah. So it's very opaque. That feels like it should be the opposite from that for me.
Have you ever poured out? I guess the answer is yes, because I think we've experienced this together. But like the Celsius
Oh yeah.
or like a Red Bull,
Those
different
are always
flavors,
weird.
and like the stuff that only comes in cans. I remember I said this a little while ago, but I didn't expand on it.
Mm-hmm.
Start pouring out some beverages that like you think like you don't really know what they look like. Freaked me out a little bit.
That's what
They're not the color you think they are.
Yeah, that's what I appreciate. And yeah, some like Trulies and White Claws.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I appreciate about some of the Capri Suns that have like the clear bottom part, so you
Uh-huh.
can see what the Capri Sun looks like. But I feel like I remember discovering that because there was one time that like, there was like something in someone's and it was like gross. I don't remember. That was a while ago.
Gross.
But yeah. Oh, gotta stand up. I wonder why they changed the green tea, or if it was just kind of happened.
Maybe for it to taste like green more. Because it was green, color-wise, but it might not have tasted as green.
Yeah.
Maybe you might have to change the color to get more of the green taste.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Does
Or
that...
they just ran out of green food coloring.
Maybe.
Those come in like clear bottles, though, don't they? Like you can see it. Or am I thinking of Arnold Palmer? Well, those ones come in a can usually. I think
Yeah.
Arizona's usually come in the bottle.
They could probably put it in one of those like tinted bottles, though.
Yeah. This will make a big difference, though, if you can actually see the color.
Yeah.
I would not want to drink that.
I'd probably be fine with it. Well, we're going to have to see about that one next week. Here's the next one. They're going to be adding 4 funky new emotions for humans to feel. As these emotions lie outside the realm of current human experience, it's impossible to describe them. But here are their names. Yord, Glanger, Snalt, and Crabs. To accommodate the increased number of facial expressions to these emotions will warrant, expect 4 to 6 new muscles to form in your lower jaw and eyebrows. We wish you a very snalty evening.
And who's that from?
That's from Tagi Hiragi on Instagram. Sorry, I was messing with the camera. I was making faces.
Which emotion were you showing?
That was snalt right there.
Was it a salty sneer?
That was a very, very quick
I was thinking about it when you
description
read
of
it.
it. Impressive. That's kind of what it was.
Yeah, like a
So you take like the eyebrow motion and add like a little bit of like is that what's a jowl?
isn't that with dogs? Or it's like
I'm gonna describe it as that. I don't know what that is. That's what it should be to me. Is like, you know, you go for like a
like a scowl with your jaw,
yeah.
like a that's your snalty face.
I've just described. I don't know what a jowl is. I hope it's not something bad. I don't think it is. But that's what I'm now picturing it as.
Okay, so we got Yord, Glanger, and Crabs. So do we have any guesses of what kind of emotions these will be, or like what they'll look like?
Well, it does say that it's impossible to describe them because they're currently outside of our realm of experience.
Well, that's why we're guessing.
That's what we're guessing. I'm gonna guess that Yord is something you experience, and I have to actually think about this. I don't have anything on the top of my head. Yord is going to be something that you experience when it reminds me of the word yard, but also like bored. I don't know if that's bored as in like bored, like as in not satisfied. No, not content. I don't know. Bored. The emotion B-O-R-E-D. I could have just spelled it. That would be a lot easier. Or B-O-A-R-D. Yard and bored. It's like maybe it's like a further type of bored where there's like no hope. Like when you're bored, you find something to do. Yord is when there's like you're just like, I'm picturing emptiness. There's just nothing.
I could see that, like void.
That's not a very fun emotion.
No. On the other hand, I'm thinking Glanger is probably when you feel like so, just like all powerful and like all encompassing, like you are on top of the world. Like, oh, I'm feeling Glanger, y'all.
I had a thought for Glanger. It reminds me of glamorous and angry.
Oh yeah.
So you're being like you're like glittery and angry.
You're sparkling with anger.
Yeah.
I could see that too. Either one, we'll see, I guess.
Do you have any thoughts on Yord?
Not yet.
We've gone through Snalt. I've given you my facial expression for Snalt.
Yeah.
For the audio listeners, well, I guess we'll just have to wait for next week. But I tried to show what Snalt feels like. It was described. Sneer.
Yeah.
A salty sneer.
Yeah. And then crabs.
Crabs.
Which the obvious for crabs feels too easy would just be your crabby. We've already got that word crabby. So it's got to be different.
It's I'm picturing like the idea of having like mental pinchers. Yeah. Like your crabs gives off the idea that you're mad at something, but then you can like reach out and pinch it with your mind. And that kind of satisfies it.
Yeah. Like something's on the tip of your tongue, but then you're able to like figure it out. You're like thinking through, or you're trying to pitch like a business idea. You're trying to think of something. You're trying to think of what this emotion could be. And then you're able to you got all these thoughts. And you're able to really just take your pinchers and pinch it out and figure it out. Oh yeah, that was so crabs.
Is crabs the feeling of like when something on the tip of your tongue gets there?
Yeah, maybe.
That is then crabs?
Yeah, could be.
I don't know if I like that word to describe that. That's going to stick with me now.
Yeah.
Oh, I crabsed it. let me crabs that for you. Describe it to me. As in, just whatever's on the tip of your tongue.
Because it's kind of like grab
in
crab pinchers.
Pinched it.
And maybe you also walk sideways too.
Which way do you think? Which way do you think the facial expression muscles that they're adding are going to be able to like bring your eyebrows? And...
I think it's like because it's like you were concentrating so hard, so your mouth is down, but you get excited and you're on the verge, so your eyebrows are up.
Ah. See, I can go this way with the eyebrows. I can go like left eyebrow up, right eyebrow down. I can't go the other
That's the
way.
only one I can do too.
Some people can do it both ways. I can't.
I spent so long when I don't know, middle school, high school, whatever. The only reason I know that I can do that is I would just go like I would hold it up like that, and I would practice. I would get it. I'd get used to it, and then I eventually was able to do it. Like I had to literally just hold it like that. But I don't think we'll be able to properly show what the facial expressions will be. We don't have those new muscles yet.
True.
We don't have the new face muscles, so like. We can show what we think it'll be like, but it'll probably be way different once we finally get those muscles. We'll be, ooh, what if...
Something just clicked.
I'm feeling yored. This is glanger, y'all. What if you get to move your eyebrows apart and together with the new muscles?
I don't like the thought of that. That's going to take
That'll
some
be
getting used to.
Because now you can really only go up and down. You can go like a little in and out, but like you'll be able to go like that.
Is that like a cat being able to flare its ears back? Just like...
Yeah, maybe.
Is that what Yord is going to be?
Yeah. I hope the lower jaw muscles, I don't know if that counts, but I want to be able to move my top row of teeth. Sometimes when I think about it too much, it freaks me out that you can only move your bottom jaw. You can only move around your bottom set of teeth. Your top set of teeth, you can't move those. You can move your head. You can't move them.
So
Does that freak you out?
You want to be like a goblin shark?
I want it to be able to go like that. Like, we do this when you're like, oh, yap, blah, blah, blah. She's going yap about her jaw. But really, you should be only going like that.
Trying to keep the top one.
Yeah, or like that.
Still. Yap.
We got to change that in society. We no longer go yap. You could go.
Those two ideas that you just posed there do not sit well in my mind at all. Humans should not be able to unhinge their jaws. We're not snakes nor sharks.
Someone's
eyebrows to
feeling
the side.
snotty.
It started with eyebrows to the side. And I was like, okay, I don't know if I like that. But then the unhinging jaw part.
I want it to unhinge.
I mean, that's kind of what it would. It's kind of what it would be. Or like, if you open your mouth, your head then like tilts back.
What do you think the other muscles would do?
I'm just telling you, it would be life changing if I could go one eyebrow up, one eyebrow down in the other direction.
Well, you gotta practice.
That would be something I'd be doing all the time.
Take the next week and off it and go like that and hold it for a while and like get your eyebrows used to it.
Did that work for you?
It did. That's why I can do it now. Yeah.
Hang on, do it. Okay, that's that way.
I could only do that one. That's the only one I ever practiced.
Well, that's probably just how you could naturally do
No, because I couldn't do it before I practiced.
Okay.
But I'm saying you might be able to get your other one if you do my method and figure it out. Anyone at home too, you could try it out if you're not able to do that.
Got to do some brain workouts, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll jump to the next one.
This was a fun one.
This one was a fun one.
Sorry, let me finish my sip. The next one, baths will have 10% more splash next week. However, on the contrary, showers will have 10% more slip. And that is from Anonymous. Did not give us a name.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness, they didn't give us a name.
I was reacting to the prompt.
Oh. Me
and
too.
also, I guess maybe subconsciously, the fact that there's no name. There's no name. Baths, not something I really take.
Yeah.
Showers,
splash,
something I
though.
take regularly, but that might change now.
With 10% more splashed, would you consider increasing your bath rate?
Oh, absolutely.
Splash.
If I can flop around in there and that's acceptable.
Well, yeah, but you get water everywhere. Because I don't know. Let's take a poll
Well,
from
a problem.
the audience.
That's a post-bath problem. If I'm having a blast during the bath, not my problem until afterwards.
Yeah, I guess if you like this splash, then that's good. But let's take a poll from the audience. When you take a bath, do you close the curtain? Do you leave the curtain open?
I've never taken a bath in like a non-bath. Like this is since I was like a kid. like a tub that was meant for taking baths in only. I don't think I've ever taken a bath in a showerable tub.
Oh, really? Wait, what? You've never taken when it was always like a standalone tub?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I think I've
So I've never
only
had the
ever.
option to close the curtain.
I think I've only ever taken baths
Wait,
in
maybe that's not true. That I can
shower.
remember. Actually, no. My childhood bathroom. As soon as I could like stand, I was taking showers. I
Okay,
think.
well, we're not all like you.
Anyway, yeah,
But,
just built
okay.
different, I guess.
Personally, I would leave the curtain open. But showers having 10% more slip, yeah, that's scary. I'm gonna have to get a shower mat.
I don't like that one. Slipping in the shower. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's bad. It's scary.
It is scary.
I haven't full on slipped before, but I've slipped to the point enough that the fear, like I almost took out whole curtain, and then you fall out onto like the toilet, like that would hurt.
I did. I was debating on whether I wanted to put this out there. I took my whole curtain down. That's why one of the clips is missing. I snapped one of the clips. And it's like when I live alone.
Are you
No
okay?
one was here. Oh, I was fine. But it's like it wasn't like a big slip. It wasn't like a foot flew up and I'm like, whoa. It was like a center of gravity is in an unrecoverable position. I'm going down. It was kind of just like it took me like it was like a second and a half to process and react, and my reaction was just like acceptance of just like close my eyes, just like okay, just hope I don't hit anything bad. Rip the shower curtain straight off everything. Shower's still on, like I'm just kind of like sitting there. Fortunately, I didn't hit my head on like my sink.
Yeah, you just fall on the ground.
Yeah. And like my ground is like slightly lower than the shower floor, so it was
fall.
It was a big fall just on my back.
At least I feel like the shower curtain maybe like slows it a little bit because it takes some time to really snap it all off.
It is not a fun. It's a very just like oh my goodness, like we're going down
You're just, like,
type
wet
experience.
and slimy.
It wasn't a panic. It wasn't even like a fear. It was kind of just like are you kidding me? And I didn't want to like grab anything to like make it worse. It's just like just like I'm good at falling. I have done a lot of sports in my life. I've hit the ground many times, and I kind of know what to do when I've accepted that I'm going to get there.
Curling.
And you just, you space out your landing point to absorb the shock as much as possible. You try to not hit anything sharp or like hit your elbow or wrist or anything. You don't want to break anything.
Protect the neck.
Protect the neck. I'm really good at keeping my head up, so I automatically just like lock my neck forward. The fall didn't really hurt, but just the fact that it happened, I'm just like, we're on the ground. And it wasn't like there wasn't like a slippery part. It's just like I misstepped and I'm like, oh.
Would you have shared that on the Patreon part of embarrassing injuries had we not talked about it now?
That wasn't an injury.
Yeah, but I think
there was no injury involved. I mean, maybe a mental injury. Definitely an embarrassment.
Embarrassing injury / moments.
This happened like 2 years ago. I've processed it. I've moved on.
I guess now finally I think that you've shared it with the world. I think that'll help. And with me.
We just hit 100 followers on Spotify this week.
Wow.
So maybe that's my big exposure as our celebration. Now that more people are listening to this. Oh my goodness.
Well, this is a warning. Take more baths and less showers next week, or you might end up like him.
Yeah. Although I must say, if you fall in the shower, and if it's anything like my experience, you do kind of get over it. You're like, you know what? There's not much we could have done.
Unless you get
did the best I could in the situation. Only broke one of the clips. I ripped the whole curtain off the thing. I tried not to grab it because like I knew if I grabbed it, I could rip the whole thing off the wall. So I was like, I managed in like the second of realization, like don't grab anything, just like brace.
Yeah. So if you're gonna slip and fall, yeah, make sure you know how to fall.
Unless you have something really solid to grab, then keep yourself up. I didn't.
Yeah, maybe get a shower. Maybe we should get a shower seat. That's probably a good idea, or like a bar to grab onto.
Or like a harness.
Just be careful, yeah. Gotta strap yourself in.
Get like one of those carabiners, to get the 2-clip system going.
Yeah. Just smash. Shower smart next week. That's all I'm going to say on the topic after this 10 minutes of rambling we've done.
Okay, we're going to move on. All right. Your package will be delayed next week. Do not expect your online shopping services to arrive on time next week, if at all. Reports are indicating that the clowns from 2016 have repurposed their mission to delaying and stealing others' packages. They're back.
That was from Anonymous.
That was from Anonymous.
Not the 2016 clowns.
The 2016 clowns. Is this the second time we've talked about the 2016 clowns on our 2024 podcast?
At least, if not third. They've definitely come up.
There was kind of a, I don't know about a lost era of the internet, but something that hasn't really like ever resurfaced.
I've seen it occasionally, but not in full force.
It's always just kind of been like a one-off thing of like, remember that?
Yeah.
And then we never really resolved it and moved on.
I think people are probably rightfully so afraid to bring it back in full force in the fear that people would start doing it again, which I know I would be afraid of that. I don't want that happening again.
I guess so.
That was a wild time.
And that was just like a couple of weeks. It was a sustained enough period and there were enough people doing it where it was like,
Yeah.
okay, this is like clearly a thing.
I
And then it
vividly...
just went away.
I know. My one main memory of it is like I was driving home from my friend's house and it was like I was on a street that was like very woods and pretty like not on a main road at all, and it was dark and I was so afraid a clown was going to come out into the road. I was so scared. But it sounds like they are coming back with a new purpose, new mission.
I feel like that's given people like that era has given a new generation, a very specific generation, a fear of clowns that, you know, hasn't really like the impact of that hasn't been felt by a wide range of people, but it's been felt strongly by a narrow swath, a narrow breadth of the population.
Yeah. If any of I never actually encountered one during that time, but if any of our listeners have, please reach out and share your story. I would love to hear it.
Next week's Patreon edition, clown stories.
Yeah, but only during this one time in 2016 when they were like scary and like haunting people and stuff. And now they'll come back and be delaying stealing packages. Maybe this started last week because I got a package stolen last week. Cat food. I don't know who wanted the cat food, but
Clowns.
yeah, it must be clowns eat cat food. Maybe they have cats, I guess. Cat's part of their show.
Do you think they're taking a more traditional clown-like approach to it, where instead of being like the it clown, they're now going for like bozo type stuff? Just like, oh, I got the package, and they're like fumbling it down the street.
Yeah, or like the people delivering it, they like squirt them with water out of a flower to like delay them and slow them down, or doing something like throw a banana in the road and they slip and fall, stuff like that.
The Amazon trucks are now being targeted by clowns.
Yeah, but like in like a funny way, but it slows them down. Your packages may never arrive because of it, or the people are just so entertained they like stop and watch the clown show.
I think people are too serious about their packages to be entertained by that.
No, the delivery people are entertained.
They're probably not having a good time either. They've got a job to do.
Yeah, yes.
It's really just the clowns that are enjoying this thing, in my mind.
Yeah.
I can't believe they're back. They waited a whole 8 years.
Yeah.
And this is what they're doing now.
Guess who's back?
And they've kind of just existed among us in that time, as far as I could tell.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as we know, they haven't like gone off into the. I guess they were kind of in the woods most of the time. I don't know what they've been up to in that time. Then
They've been regrouping and multiplying their numbers.
oh boy, I hope there's not more. All right, we'll jump to the next one before we scare ourselves too much with that.
Too late. The next one, Charlie XCX is taking suggestions for a rebrand for Brat Girl Summer for the upcoming season fall. Options include Butch Girl Fall, Pantyless Girl Fall, and Stinky Girl Fall.
Oh my goodness.
This rebrand
Sorry to interrupt.
This rebrand is expected to accompany 3 bonus tracks as well as a personality shift from the women in your life. That is also from Anonymous. No one's given their names today.
So this is being crowdsourced and will have like a direct impact on people you know.
Yeah. As
Oh,
long as
boy.
you know some women, it'll affect them.
Name a woman.
Yeah. So instead of, I thought you told us it was going to be a brat girl fall.
It was kind
Or
of just a
brat
brat
fall.
fall.
Brat fall, yeah. But I guess there are also maybe some other options. Maybe it'll be like a two-parter fall. You know, maybe the first part's gonna be brat fall while they figure out these options. Because these are just some suggestions for now. But I can't imagine it being pantyless girl fall, considering in fall you usually have to wear pants.
I don't know. That would be that'd be something. Can't speak from experience. Just gonna leave that one out there.
Yeah, no jeans with that. No, stinky girl fall. I could see that for sure.
Summer's kind of ending. You kind of get the idea that you don't have to upkeep the sweat reduction as much. It's not as hot out.
We're all scarred from slipping in our showers 10% more often. So we're not going to want to shower. We're going to be stinky.
Oh boy.
There's a correlation here.
Or do you think they're making it's like a statement stink? Like a purposeful stink?
Maybe, yeah.
Like not like an unclean stink, but like this scent is not pleasing and yet I'm making a statement with it.
I could honestly see that kind of happening and like catching on, like being like a trend, like a TikTok trend, like, oh my god, there's this perfume that smells awful. Let's all wear it. It's like a thing, yeah. 3 bonus tracks too. That's exciting.
Are the bonus tracks going to be like written upon the decision?
Maybe.
Or do you think they're previously written and then they're like we're just taking it in the direction that we're choosing?
I don't know. I feel like whatever they are is what's going to contribute to the personality shift. Because I mean, that happens with me sometimes when like new songs come out. Like that's a personality shift. What I'm listening to really affects the way I act. So like if they're like sad songs, and it's gonna be sad, but like most of her other ones have been very dance pop-y, kind of edgy, kind of like that, I guess. Would you describe it like that?
I'd say so.
Pretty kind of like
they're fun,
or a little EDM. I don't know. Yeah, fun. So maybe it'll stay in that route, or if it's a shift, they'll be very different. Maybe it'd be jazz or something. And it'll be acting all smooth.
I'd like to see that.
What's that supposed to be? I'm not already smooth.
I was going to ask to give us your smooth impression, but, I feel like I've been making you do a lot of impressions.
Yeah, no, you're just going to have to wait and see.
That's a next week thing?
Yeah. No, in the fall.
Or maybe whenever the fall. Is this going to be before the fall or like during the fall?
It's during fall.
Okay. So there's some preparation that still needs to be put into this.
Yeah. They're still, as you said, taking suggestions. They haven't really figured out which kind of fall, which girl fall it's going to be.
I like that it's kind of a crowd choice instead of just being told.
Yeah, she's taking suggestions.
Either you hop on the train or don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Huh.
That's a fun one.
We all got a DM.
Am I allowed to participate? I feel like that's becoming a thing that,
Mm-hmm. You can have a stinky girl fall.
I guess I could. Being told I'm having a blank girl something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with it.
Mm-hmm. So we all got to DM Charlie XCX with our opinions, what kind of fall we want.
Don't give her any context. Just kind of do it.
Hey Charlie, I'm rooting for stinky girl fall.
My vote is for butch girl fall.
Give me pantyless girl fall.
All right, here's the next one. The mail will arrive fashionably early next week, so get ready for being able to read your letters 5 to 15 minutes earlier than you normally do.
Huh.
So packages are being delayed / stolen, but the mail is running with extreme efficiency. Those are 2 separate entities in my mind.
Yeah. I guess I understand why this works. Yeah, because the mail in my mind is like UPS. No, not UPS. The postal system.
Yeah, USPS.
USPS. Why are they so similar? But yeah, the mail is more in my mind USPS, and then packages usually come through UPS, FedEx, Amazon, blah blah blah, stuff like that. But if they're being delayed, clears the road for the for the male person to get through faster 5 to 15 minutes earlier. That's just my guess.
5 to 15 minutes earlier
5 is that what it said? 5
is
to 15?
yeah. But I'm just saying that's. I was very excited about that, and then I realized that like, is the mail on a typical schedule? I couldn't tell you when my mail
I
person
know,
shows up.
I don't know either.
Maybe that's just a me and us thing.
I don't even know if they come every day.
It probably depends on when you have mail.
Yeah.
If they have mail to bring you, they don't have much mail to bring
Yeah.
me.
But this could probably make a difference for some people who like wait for their mail every day, or like they probably know because the dog barks or something, so they know when it's going to show up.
Sometimes I get in the mindset of having a nice, simple life, like, and you know, all I get is junk mail. It's just like, this credit card is great for you. You should get this, or like, here's the local like cleaning services, or you should refinance your house that you don't own, with us. And you know, I just kind of sit there and I peruse it, like flipping through it. Something nice about flipping through some junk mail, and then just kind of binning it all, just toss it all in the trash, and go on with your day.
I have fixated on a phrase in this submission, this news story here. Fashionably early. Usually it's fashionably late. Is it even possibly fashionably early? Because if you're early, you're not fashionable.
Maybe the idea that the junk mail is unwanted and yet it's arriving with extreme efficiency is kind of fashionable.
I don't know. I mean, it's clear they didn't take as much time getting ready because they're early. Or maybe the mail, so it's arriving early, so maybe it left early. Maybe it left like 30 minutes early.
It was bright-eyed and
Earlier
bushy-tailed,
than
ready to go early
yeah.
that morning.
Yes, maybe that could be it. I don't know. That just caught my eye. Had to point it out.
I guess you can be fashionably whatever. If you're doing it fashionably, you can be whatever.
Sure. So, mail early, packages late or never.
Is that where fashionably late comes from? It's because you took more time getting ready?
Yeah, pretty sure. It's like, oh, I'm
never
taking my
connected
time, my time being fashionable. Yeah.
I've always just thought it was like, oh, it's cool that I'm late.
I mean, I think that's kind of like what it came on to mean, but yeah, it's like, oh, fashionably. That's how I take it. I don't know. That's how I've always thought about it.
Interesting. That's another phrase that is now going to be completely changed in my mind.
Yeah.
Forever.
I'm going to start mailing letters in packages. Wait, no. I'm going to shrink down the packages and put them in mail.
You're going to
what I
send them
gotta
like piece by piece in letters.
Yeah. So it'll actually get there on time, early, actually.
That's a fun way to do it. Getting so much mail, but it's just all like broken down parts of the same thing.
Did you credit the person who submitted this?
Oh. This one's from Cav on Discord.
I couldn't remember.
I'm going to say that in a less like forgetting way, so I can make pretend in the clip that I didn't. And that one's from Cav on Discord.
Edit that
So if
in
you're
there.
listening to the full episode and you're an hour in with us,
Exposed,
yeah. We have one more to do. Last week I had to cut it 5 minutes short because I thought we were at an hour, and then I had to cut out 5 minutes of jets flying by, so it ended up being like under 55 minutes. And I was like, oh, that's less than we promised. Not that we're, shooting for a particular time, but we're like, we're going to keep reading submissions until our time's up. So we'll do one more on here.
So this one, they say, uh-oh, the voices are back, and they're whispering incomprehensible truths no human is ready to hear. And that's from Anonymous, of course.
Incomprehensible truths. When I first read that looked like kind of like a paradox to me, but now I'm realizing it's not. It's possible.
It does make sense. It's like a truth, something that's true that your little puny human mind can't comprehend.
Is it in English? Is it words? I guess it would kind of have to be.
Yeah. I think it's just something like what happens after death, or something like that, or like what happened during the Big Bang, something that like
you must order dinner from food delivery services tonight and pay $40 for a burger.
Yeah, see, that's incomprehensible, kind of. Yeah, like $40 for a burger.
Why do I have to? Okay.
I paid $8.50 for a soda at the movies. That was kind of, if someone whispered that in my ear, I'd be like, no way.
You will pay the $2.50 small order fee, the $3.89 local tax fee,
Yeah.
the $2 restaurant fee.
Uh-huh. But the burger will still hit. That I can comprehend.
You will. I'm only thinking about dinner now. What else are they saying?
The only thing I can think of is Clifford the Red Dog.
Clifford the Big Red Dog. That
The
is
big
a
red dog.
that's a jump to something else.
Well, I had been thinking about it even before the show.
Oh. What else? What else are the voices saying? You will scroll for an extra half hour before it's time for bed.
See, now I can comprehend that.
You will read your book until 3 a.m.
Yeah, that's likely,
These are Mary truths.
and they are comprehensible.
What are Aidan truths? Your alarm clock is lying to you. Your alarm clock is evil and must be defeated.
That's the truth.
You must incorporate it into your dream, and victory means sleeping for an extra hour.
Do you do that? Do you incorporate it
Sometimes
in your dream?
my alarm clock ends up in my dream, and like me half awake turning it off and then going back to my dream, like it becomes a victory in the dream. It really
Win the
is
gold
evil.
medal. That's funny.
It's evil for like being able to experience my day as a person and not an imaginary version of myself in my dream. My dream person just loves the spotlight, loves to take over and just, hang on to its day for as long as it can.
I feel like I only have stuff like that when it's like I think I told you, it's like I woke up at like 5, 6 a.m., saw a cat had barfed in the kitchen, didn't clean it up because it was 5 a.m. I was like, I'll do it when I wake up later. But I went back to bed, and then I dreamt that he had cleaned it up for me instead, or that I got him to clean it up. And he didn't, but my roommate had actually cleaned up, so it was fine. But so incomprehensible truth, I guess, in that moment would be whispering in my dreams, like,
someone else will do it.
yeah, we're like, I forgot where I was going with that, but it's something like that. I'm losing focus.
I was going to say something about the moon, just go right into conspiracy theories, but I refrained. I won't do that.
Space does not exist.
There we go. We live on a giant donut, and we're all sprinkles. Chocolate frosted donut theory.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Or no, strawberry frosted donut theory.
The moon is just a Baby Bell cheese.
Well, I think that's everything. I don't know if I have any more incomprehensible truths to whisper.
I could keep thinking of some, but I guess we're good.
Once we say goodbye, they'll all pop into my head.
Yeah. We'll share them next time.
Well, thank you all so much for listening. Appreciate you being here. And thanks for the submissions to those of you who sent stuff in.
Thanks.
We'll be back next week with another episode, but we hope you enjoyed this one.
See ya. Ba, 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 da, ba.